Good evening, Fernwood. It is your somewhat hopeful pal Neil here, and it's time for us to watch a new episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. This is June 9th, 1976's episode, and when I said I was hopeful, I'm hopeful that the studying on the audio that I have just been doing may be helpful and maybe will help keep this video from sounding like garbage. That's what I'm hopeful about. Speaking of things not sounding like garbage, yesterday's episode was really focused on Loretta's recording session for Vitamin L. It started with Charlie and Loretta getting a little bit cuddly, talking about what their plans are for the future and the potential for Loretta to have a new singing career and tithing to the church. Tom comes over and they invite him, making clear that Mary is also invited, so there may be some tension. He at first begs off, but then, with the saddest smile I have ever seen in my life, says that he's gonna go and things are gonna be fine. He may bring some spirits with him because he's been drinking lately. That's not what he tells them, though. Then Mary Hartman, Dennis Foley, and Heather have a bit of an exchange. Dennis and Heather seem to be getting along just fine, and Mary seems to like Dennis just fine as well. She says that he should not come to the recording session. He insists that he is going to come. The rest of the episode takes place at the recording session, and just like the last recording session, it goes pretty hairy. Like, it's just interrupted every couple minutes by a new character showing up. First it's Merle and Jimmy Joe Jeter, then we see Mary Hartman, and then Dennis shows up as a surprise. Then finally Tom Hartman shows up, sees Dennis and Mary together, and blows up. It really turns into a huge mess. I don't think we even saw the song get finished one time in that whole recording session. It's a pretty emotional situation between them, and I think it's gonna have ramifications for the entire show. It's not a pretty scene. Speaking of not a pretty scene, hey, let's take the focus off my face and take you to the new episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Hello, helpline. The pill? Oh, no, I'm sorry. The only way that you can get the pill is with a doctor's prescription. Or you might try the free clinic. Do you mind if I ask you a question? How old are you? Oh, thank you. I wonder who gave this number to a 10-year-old boy.
Good news, Mary. Good news. Oh, I am so excited.
You're so excited you can't say good morning?
Well, I said good news. Isn't that even better than saying good morning?
Oh, I don't know, Mom. I'm just so depressed. I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. You know what I did?
Well, how do you expect me to know what you did if you don't know what you did?
I didn't say... I mean, I know what I did because I did it. I just don't know why I'm doing what I did. That's all.
Oh,
you know what I did?
Well, what did you do?
I ate 3 pancakes for breakfast
Well, what's wrong with that?
without defrosting them.
Well, Mary, you're going to become undepressed when I tell you the good news.
What?
Are you ready? I was born in Oklahoma.
Can I tell you something, Mom?
Why?
I'm still depressed.
Well,
What's the big thing about being born in Oklahoma? I mean, what's good news about that? That's old news. That's what that is. I mean, what did that happen, 50 years ago?
Grandpa Larkin remembered that that's where they adopted me, you know, in Oklahoma. Or he thinks he remembers that they adopted me there. And now he and Ma, who really wasn't my mother, you know, because I'm an adopted child. Well, Mary, they were traveling from Nebraska there, right down to Georgia. And he thinks he remembers that that's where they adopted me, in Oklahoma.
Doesn't that sound peculiar to you?
Well, why?
Well, when most people travel, they go on fishing trips, or they climb a mountain, or they go on a car ride, but they don't go around adopting babies, do they?
Oh, no, not babies, Mary. Just me. Oh, it's going to be such a big help to Adopt-O-Find.
What's Adopt-A-Find?
That's the agency that's trying to find out who my real parents are. Now, this, you see, this narrows the field.
It narrows the field? I don't see how that narrows the field. I mean, Oklahoma's a very big place, you know.
And it's full of oil wells. You know, the odds are that my parents were oil millionaires.
Ma, oil millionaires would not give up their child for adoption.
Well, they would if they were dead. Mary, they could have been killed in an Oklahoma-type accident.
What's an Oklahoma-type accident?
Well, they could have been examining one of their oil wells when it struck oil, and the gusher came in and drowned them. Or it could have been a tornado. They have tornadoes in Oklahoma, you know that. Or they could have been trampled by a herd of elephants.
Ma,
Well, don't you remember that song in Oklahoma, the movie, where they say, and the corn is as high as an elephant's eye?
And it looks like it's climbing right up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. And it is a beautiful morning and a lovely day, and it's nice to see both of you this morning.
Hi.
Good morning, Mary.
Oh, Dennis, you say the sweetest thing.
Oh, well, it's easy to say sweet things when I'm with two sweet people. Oh.
Well, you know, I think I got to be going because I have to write to that adoption agency.
Oh, Mary told me that you're looking for your real parents. Good luck.
Oh, well, thank you, Dennis. Bye, Mary.
Bye, Mom.
Have a nice day. Whoever you are. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day.
No, it's not.
It's not Mary. I don't want you to go off on one of your guilt trips today. You know, what happened last night was unpleasant, but it wasn't your fault. What happened to your marriage was not your doing.
Sure it is. A marriage involves two people, and it's a partnership, and it's just as much my responsibility as his.
You did not bust up your marriage. Tom did. Tom walked out. Tom said no more marriage, and Tom asked for a divorce.
I know, but I did it because of what happened in the hospital room.
Yes, but he drove you to it.
No, but I drove him to drive him to do it.
Yes, but he drove you to drive him to do it, and I don't want to spend the morning talking about your driving record. Mary, I want to go on a picnic to the country.
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm not in the mood to make hard-boiled eggs.
I have a lunch hamper packed in my car, which is parked out front. There is nothing like a picnic.
The last picnic I was on, Heather threw up. Tom sprained his ankle. Grandpa got ptomaine. And the worst thing of all happened to me.
What?
Well, I was wearing short shorts, and I sat in a clump of poison ivy.
Mary, that's all behind you now.
It was all by me then. Is that a joke?
Come on, Mary, I promise I will find a spot, a big spot, where there is no poison ivy.
Well, you make it sound like a fun day.
It will be.
I can't go.
Mary,
I can't. I have to answer my helpline phone.
why don't you call them on the phone and tell them that you are going to take the day off?
I can't do that. I have a responsibility.
To yourself, and to me, and to us.
Dennis,
Mm-hmm.
could you be sure to pick a spot where there's no poison ivy? That was very unpleasant the last time.
Hey, Charlie.
Where is everybody?
Well, you just missed George. He's still griping about Martha spending all his hard-earned money on that long-lost search for her parents.
There's no price on love.
Yeah, but George has put a price on a new power mower, and Martha's using up all the money that he might use for it, huh?
Is he kidding? I have seen his backyard. It's 20 feet by 60. He doesn't need a power mower.
Geez, you made it sound like Mount Vernon. So what's new with you, Charlie?
Oh, things are pretty good with me. Loretta's career really is going to take off.
Hey. Oh, yeah, how did the recording session go last night? I heard about.
Oh, that was terrific, man. The recording, that was some of the best that Loretta's ever sang. We had a little bit of problem getting to the recording, that's all.
What was that?
Well, Tom, he showed up. He was carrying half a load. Boy, I tell you, I don't know what's the matter with him, Ed. I try to get through to him. He's really messing up, you know.
Yeah, I do know.
I try to get in contact with him. Do you think maybe you could talk to him?
Well, he's living right there in the house with us, but whenever he's there, he's got a Schlitz in one hand and the hard stuff in the other hand half the time. It's real hard to get through to him, you know, to make sense.
Well, what about the company wants him to go to those alcohol sessions? Is he going to those alcohol sessions?
I doubt it. He tells me he thinks it's a spy network that the union's using to observe him. He's not an alcoholic. He doesn't need the sessions, and I doubt if he's there, Charlie.
Man,
I really do.
he's really trying, you know.
Hi, Tom.
Hey. Man, you look like you've seen a ghost.
Yeah. I didn't see no ghost. I seen my last paycheck. I just got fired.
Oh, hey, Tom, that's really tough.
Oh, man, why? On account of you wouldn't go to those alcohol sessions?
Yeah. Now, how the hell can they make me go to those damn sessions, Charlie, huh? I'm no damn alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic.
I know you're not. Just the same. I mean, you had no choice. Maybe you should have gone.
Why? Why the hell should I go? I don't know. You know, I'll tell you guys.
You should have gone, Tom.
No, I shouldn't have gone. I shouldn't have gone. I'll tell you what I should have done, Charlie. You know, when I was a lot younger, I mean, I had it made. I had a real solid life then, you know?
When?
Hell, when I was in high school. When I was back in high school. You guys didn't know me then, but man, I was a good ball player. Hell, I was a big jock in high school. You should have seen my senior year in high school playing baseball. You know what I hit? I hit 426. Wow. Huh? Played 38 ball games. I was a hell of a shortstop. You know, we had major league scouts from all over come and look at me play. From the Giants and the Dodgers. And you know what? You know what they said I was? They said I was a major league prospect because I had a hell of an arm. I mean, I had a gun for an arm, boy. A good stick, too. Hell, I hit the long ball. Hell, I was a hell of a ball player. Hell, I was a good basketball player, too. Hell, I was 6 foot. If I had been 6 inches tall, I would have had a scholarship to Ohio State, been All-American. Hell, yeah, I would have been. You know what I'd be doing now? I'd be coaching. I'd be a big-time coach making lots of bucks. Coaching either pro basketball or pro baseball. That's what the hell I'd be doing. Who the hell would need this job? I wouldn't need it screwing dome lights into a car 8 hours a day. Hell. Hell, I was a big man. Who the hell needs this job anyway, huh? Huh? Hey, fellas, I got better things to do with my life. I'll tell you that right now. Yes, sir. I'll see you guys.
See you later.
See.
The secretary, however, assured newsmen that, in keeping with well-defined American policy, the United States would supply the junta with tactical nuclear bombs only for peaceful purposes. And now for our nightly laughter. Here's today's nifty in the news. In Grunsville, Missouri, Arnold Zamper had a new car parked in front of his house wrapped in pink ribbons as a surprise birthday present for his wife. But the surprise was on Arnold. His wife drove off in the car with Arnold's best friend, Jerry Zaks, and the two haven't been seen since. Well, you know what they say, Arnold. You can't win them all. And that's the news at 5. Have a fun evening.
Okay, Clete, you're off.
Here are the news updates for 11 o'clock.
How was I? Pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah, you were great.
All in a day's work.
Yeah.
Oh, Kathy, stick around for a minute, will you? I'd like to talk to you. Well, what do we got here? Oh, pretty dull stuff. Let's see. Just some network updates. Network updates. That's a technical term. It means stuff that updates the news. What else we got? PR, more Oh, PR. That's another technical term. It means public relations. Let me see here. Well, this is really wiggy. The network wants us affiliates to come up with candidates for America's typical housewife consumer. How's that grab you? Can you believe that they actually pay guys to dream up this stuff?
No.
Well, file it in the WB.
WB?
Wastebasket. You'll get hip to this newsroom lingo after you've been here for a while.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm going to be here very much longer.
How come?
Well, you see, I get paid $9 a show for the kitchen cookie, and I work twice a week, so that's $18. And then I only get paid $21 a week for being a gopher.
Yeah, but you're doing a heck of a job, baby. You're going to go places in this industry.
At this rate, I'll starve to death before I get there, so I think I'm just going to give up television business and go back to beauty school.
You got the shorts, huh?
Shorts?
And what we call not enough money.
Yeah, well, you don't see me driving any Furline sports cars, so I think I'm going to go back to beauty school and get my license.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm getting a brainstorm here. A brainstorm. How would you like to do an on-the-air spot on the news?
You mean an on-the-air spot on the news?
Check.
You've got to be kidding.
I don't kid about industry matters. Oh, I know, my show's been doing great and all that, but I've been thinking about jazzing it up, you know, like maybe adding a weather girl.
And you want me to be the weather girl?
Check.
Is that anything like being a gopher?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, a gopher, she goes for cigarettes and then she goes for coffee. Is a weather girl supposed to tell you whether the coffee is there or not?
Ah, Kathy, you're a knockout. You know what? I knew you were sharp the minute I saw you. You know, if we could cook up routines like that on the air, we'd slay them.
You really mean you want me on the air?
The job is yours if you want it.
Oh, Clete, that's so wonderful. Oh.
Well, hey, why don't we brainstorm this thing over dinner? How about it?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let's go.
Well, I have to get my purse, okay? Dinner, Clete. Just dinner.
All right. How's, oh, no, you have to peel the potatoes now.
You want me to peel the potato?
No, this meal is being specially prepared this evening by the eminent French chef, Monsieur Denis Lafoley, and his charming assistant, Mademoiselle Heather Le Hartman.
I didn't know you could cook.
You can do anything, can't you, Sergeant Foley?
Sure. Only you have to stop calling me Sergeant Foley, or I'll arrest you or something.
What do you want me to call you?
Call me Uncle Dennis.
All right. That'll be fun.
How's the water doing?
It's not boiling yet.
Oh, well, dance.
Okay.
No. You have to dance close because you have to keep an eye on it. It's about to boil. See, the dancing doesn't help it any. It's just more fun than just standing there.
I didn't know cooking could really be that much fun.
Many things are fun when you're doing them with two people as delightful as you and your mother.
You really like my mother, don't you?
Heather, come here a minute. It's a very impolite thing to do. It's very impolite to ask personal questions. And it's very important in terms of being a nice human being to be a polite human being.
I understand.
Don't ask personal questions.
Okay, Mom. What do you want me to do while I wait for the water to boil?
Well, you could sing. How about, you know some songs?
Sing?
Row, row, row your boat?
Sure.
Okay, I'll start. Row, row, row your boat
Row,
gently down the
row,
stream.
row it gently down the stream.
Hold it. Mary, we're short a soprano.
Oh, I don't do that sing.
Listen, you do realize that the chefs are going out on strike unless you sing. Isn't that right, Heather?
Right. Come on, Mom.
No, sweetheart, I don't sing. Your mother does not sing.
Mary, you're leaving yourself wide open for something terrible.
What?
Heather and I will be left to sing alone, and you will have nothing to do but listen.
Row, row, row your boat
Gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row,
I'll get it.
row your boat gently down the stream.
Hello?
Hi, Heather. Hi, honey. This is your daddy.
Hi, Daddy.
How are you?
Fine.
Oh, good. That's great. Well, aren't you going to ask me how I am?
Sure. How are you?
I'm terrific. Hey, listen, sweetheart, how'd you like to go to a restaurant tonight with me, huh?
I can't.
What do you mean you can't? Why?
Well, I'm cooking with dinner with Uncle Dennis.
With Uncle Dennis? Oh. Okay, Heather, listen, I love you, and I'll call you later next week.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily.
So here we are at the top. That was a lot. It was very much for me to deal with, so I'm going to take it back to the beginning and remind myself about Oklahoma. Before I get to the scene, I'm going to take a brief tangent because I'm a huge fan of the musical Oklahoma, and hearing the song, even from a character I dislike very much, was a nice reminder of a show that I dig. So I have worn my Oklahoma t-shirt, my Oklahoma the Musical t-shirt in previous episodes, and that is from the recent Broadway production that Daniel Fish recorded. There is very little I've seen that is more beautiful than that production of Oklahoma. So if you have a chance, I would check out videos of that production on YouTube. I'll see if I can put a card up above my head right here or so, like there, and check that out, because sometimes we need to see things that are different versions of things that are already beautiful. So speaking of Oklahoma and beauty, well, I think that it's really exciting that Martha is getting some new information about her past. And, you know, it doesn't change who she is in my mind, but I think it's always helpful to have some idea of who you are, maybe discover some new piece of news. And hopefully it's good news. Who knows what it'll be, but I think just knowing about yourself is a good thing. That leads to Dennis's entry with the song from that musical that we just spoke about. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. And I feel like Dennis continues to do the things that I don't like so much about Dennis, which is writing off the pain that Mary is feeling. And Mary is in a pretty deep and understandable depression. And what I think she really needs right now is for someone to listen to that pain and not to explain it. I think logic is a thing that many listeners try to use, and it's like, no, logic doesn't change emotions. And sometimes you are in the right, but that doesn't change how you feel about it. And I don't know that Mary's in the right. So using logic in this case doesn't help, at least not from my perspective, because Mary is still dealing with enormous emotions, and just explaining the emotions away isn't how it works. Then at the factory, we see Ed, McCullough, and Charlie just catching up on the recording session. I guess the song must have been finished at some point. Maybe we'll hear if it does anything. But really, that's a scene about Tom, who comes in and has been fired from the factory. And he's just on a spiral down. You know, losing his marriage, losing his family, losing his job. He is a man from the beginning of this series that has had real questions about his worth as a human being. And that's something that doesn't necessarily get explored, but that's something that I've seen in this character. He doesn't feel like, to use the way that he probably thought about it, he doesn't feel like a man in a lot of ways. And some of that is sexually, some of that is in terms of his career. It's definitely in terms of how much he has lost in terms of his family. And, well, we'll see more about that in a second. And then there's Cleet Meisenheimer, who is definitely hashtag Me Too material at this point. He offers Kathy a new position as an on-air talent, as a weather girl. I felt like it was going to go that way. It seems like every time Kathy wants to move on from the career that isn't paying that much, I mean, I don't, at this point, maybe $30 a week, which isn't anything to sneeze at, but is not much in terms of, you know, surviving and stuff. But the thing is that he keeps tying on the, hey, let's go out, and then he slaps Kathy on the hiney, and that's unacceptable. And Kathy sets up a barrier there, and I'm glad that she has. She shouldn't need to. She should not need to set up a barrier, but I'm glad that she did set up a barrier. Or at least, you know, not a barrier necessarily, what is it? A boundary. I'm glad that Kathy set up a boundary for herself, that this is not going to be a romantic lunch or dinner date. It is just them getting dinner to maybe talk about the work. I think Cleet is not going to follow that boundary, but I'm very glad that Kathy has made it clear. And finally, Uncle Dennis, which to me is really painful. I think I'm glad that Heather gets along with him. I feel like a commenter mentioned that Heather is toxic throughout the whole series. I actually feel like the relationship between Heather and Mary is toxic both ways. They do not treat each other well in each direction. I could talk about it a bit more, but I think I want to get back to the scene. That she gets together with Dennis, or rather she gets along with Dennis, it's nice. I'm glad of that. I still think that it's not appropriate. I think that Mary is not necessarily in a place to be surrounded by this, but, you know, having someone around is better than no one, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not in love with Dennis, and you know that. But the thing that really busted my part was when Tom called and invited his daughter to dinner. And yes, I know plans had already been made, but for him to find out about Uncle Dennis in that way is just horrible. And especially considering exactly how low Tom would be feeling after losing his job, after drinking himself into a stupor. And I can only imagine how much further down the well Tom might go at this point. It's pretty clear to me that there's gonna be some downward spiral happening at this point, and I am reluctant to watch that. I'm gonna watch it because that's what I'm gonna do, but I'm not eager to see Tom really hit rock bottom. And I'm not sure that he has hit there just yet. So that is our June 9th, 1976 episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thanks for watching me cry a little bit, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.